At the center of the world's largest mosque stands a simple stone structure covered in black cloth. It is not a palace, not a tomb, and not a cathedral filled with images. Yet for more than 1 billion Muslims, it is the most sacred building on earth. This is the Kaaba, located in the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Its name comes from the Arabic word connected to its cube-like shape, and it is often called al-Kaaba al-Musharafa, the honored Kaaba. Muslims also refer to it as Baytullah, meaning the house of God. That phrase does not mean God is contained inside it. Rather, it marks the Kaaba as a sacred focal point of worship, unity, and obedience. Every day, across continents and time zones, Muslims turn toward this one location during prayer. To understand the Kaaba's importance, begin with the idea of direction. In Islam, formal prayer is not only a set of words and movements, it is also physically oriented. The direction Muslims face is called the Qibla. Whether someone is praying in Indonesia, Nigeria, Turkey, Britain, or Brazil, the Qibla points them toward the Kaaba in Mecca. This shared orientation creates a powerful sense of global unity. People who may never meet, speak different languages, and live under different cultures still arrange themselves around the same sacred center. The Kaaba, then, is not worshipped by Muslims. It functions as the direction of worship. The worship is directed to God alone, while the Kaaba provides a common axis for the community. The Kaaba stands inside the Masjid al-Haram, the sacred mosque, Islam's holiest site. The mosque has expanded enormously over the centuries to accommodate growing numbers of pilgrims, but the Kaaba remains the focal point. Its physical form is strikingly plain compared with many famous religious monuments. It is a stone building, roughly cuboid in appearance, covered by a black textile known as the kiswa. The power of the site lies not in ornament alone, but in what it represents: continuity with prophetic tradition, the center of pilgrimage, and the visible point toward which Muslim prayer is organized. Around it is the open space where pilgrims circulate, known as the mataf. On ordinary days and during peak seasons, this space fills with people moving in steady rings around the sanctuary. Islamic tradition connects the Kaaba deeply with the story of Ibrahim, known in English as Abraham, and his son Ismail. According to this tradition, Ibrahim returned to the valley of Mecca years after leaving Hajar and Ismail there by God's command. He and Ismail rebuilt the Kaaba as a house dedicated to the worship of the one God. This story places the Kaaba within a much older sacred history, linking Islam to the Abrahamic tradition. The emphasis is not simply on construction, but on restoration, the idea that true worship is renewed after being forgotten, corrupted, or neglected. For Muslims, the Kaaba is therefore associated with monotheism, sacrifice, trust in God, and the prophetic mission that culminates in the message of Muhammad. The structure seen today is the result of a long history of rebuilding and repair. The Kaaba has been damaged and reconstructed multiple times, including after a fire during the siege of Mecca by the Umayyads in 683 CE. That event belongs to a period of political conflict in early Islamic history, reminding us that sacred places also exist within the realities of human society: war, authority, restoration, and memory. Yet despite changes to the building over time, the Kaaba's religious function endured. Its importance is not tied to the survival of every original stone. It is tied to the sanctuary's role in worship, pilgrimage, and sacred geography. Through destruction and rebuilding, the Kaaba remained the center toward which Muslim devotion returned. One of the most recognizable rituals connected to the Kaaba is tawaf. During Hajj and Umrah, pilgrims circle the Kaaba 7 times in an anti-clockwise direction. This act is not a casual walk around a monument. It is a required rite for completing the pilgrimages. The movement of thousands, and sometimes millions, of people around a single point creates one of the most visually powerful scenes in religious life. Tawaf expresses submission, devotion, and belonging. Each pilgrim is an individual with private prayers, hopes, and burdens, yet all move within a single shared pattern. The Kaaba becomes the still center, while the human community flows around it in worship. The area where pilgrims perform tawaf is called the mataf. Its design and management are crucial because pilgrimage can bring extraordinary crowds into one place. During Ramadan and especially during Hajj, the number of worshippers increases dramatically. Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and is required once in a lifetime for Muslims who are physically and financially able. Umrah, while not the same as Hajj, also brings large numbers of pilgrims throughout the year. According to Saudi figures, millions of external pilgrims have arrived for Umrah in a single Islamic year. The Kaaba's surroundings therefore combine spiritual intensity with immense logistical planning. Crowd flow, safety, access, and ritual timing all matter. Another important feature of the Kaaba is the kiswa, the cloth covering that gives the building its iconic black appearance. The kiswa is changed annually on the 9th of Dhul al-Hijjah, the day of Arafah, a central day of the Hajj pilgrimage. While many pilgrims are gathered at Arafah outside Mecca, the covering of the Kaaba is replaced. The kiswa is more than decoration. It signals honor, care, and reverence for the sanctuary. Its regular renewal also reminds viewers that the Kaaba is both ancient and living, a site rooted in sacred memory, yet continuously maintained in the present. The cloth helped shape the visual identity by which the Kaaba is recognized worldwide. In early Islam, the Qibla was not always the Kaaba. Muslims initially faced in the general direction of Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem during prayer. Later, the direction was changed to face the Kaaba in Mecca, a shift understood by Muslims as connected to Quranic revelation to Muhammad. This change was theologically significant. It marked Mecca as the central sacred direction for the Muslim community and distinguished Islamic ritual orientation in a new way. Jerusalem remained deeply respected in Islam, but the Kaaba became the fixed point of daily prayer. The change of Qibla shows how sacred geography in Islam developed through revelation, community formation, and the connection between prayer and place. The Kaaba has also been at the center of historical disputes. One of the most dramatic episodes involved the Karmatians, a now defunct sect that rejected the Kaaba as the Qibla. In 930 CE, they sacked Mecca and took the black stone from the Kaaba to their own center of power in Al-Aqsa. Their goal was not merely theft, but a challenge to the religious order centered on Mecca. The black stone was eventually returned, and the Kaaba's central position endured. This episode shows that the Kaaba's significance was not only devotional but also symbolic. Whoever challenged it was challenging a major organizing principle of Muslim religious life. Today, Muslims across the major branches of Islam, including Sunnis and Shias, face the Kaaba in prayer. Some heterodox groups have expressed different theological views, especially around the idea that God cannot be assigned a place. But for mainstream Islamic practice, facing the Kaaba does not mean placing God inside a building. It means obeying a divinely established direction for prayer. This distinction is essential. The Kaaba is sacred, but it is not an idol. It is honored as the house of God in the sense of dedication, not containment. Its role is to gather the Muslim world into a single ritual orientation while preserving the central Islamic belief in the oneness and transcendence of God. The Kaaba's power lies in how many layers of meaning meet in one place. It is an ancient sanctuary, a direction for daily prayer, the center of Hajj and Umrah, a symbol of Abrahamic monotheism, and a site shaped by centuries of rebuilding, conflict, care, and devotion. Its physical form is modest compared with its global influence. A Muslim may never visit Mecca, yet the Kaaba still enters daily life through the Qibla. For those who do visit, Tawaf transforms belief into motion, placing the body inside a worldwide pattern of worship. The Kaaba remains, above all, a sacred center, not because of size or spectacle, but because it organizes faith, memory, and community around the worship of God. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.